Yo, what's going on Twitch? We're back. Um, yeah, we just played a quick game of Wingspan, and then I'm back. So we didn't have time to score it up, but we're gonna score it up now. So we have a finished game in front of us. Um, so this was our board, and the only thing. Oh, okay. So this was a tie for end of round goal 4. So what we're gonna do right now is score this up, see how we did, and play another game because that was fun. Um, Moltoni's Warbler. If Automa did not end up taking Willy Wagtail, I may have gotten a extra turn. So Willy Wagtail and Moltoni's Warbler both have the same round end abilities. If you used all 4 types of actions this round, play another bird, pay its normal food and egg cost. So we would have been able to play that and play 2 birds at the end of the round, at the end of each round. Imagine having both of those down in round 1. That would be so cool. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and score this up and get a second game going. That was probably the fastest physical Automa game I've ever played. We were in a big rush, but we ended up getting 12 birds down, which is still impressive. For me, anyway. So we're going to score up first. First thing we score here is birds, just the points on the birds, so we can zoom in on the board here and see that we have 11, 16, 24, 28, 31, 39, 44, 51, 56, 65. So 65 points from birds is pretty good. And then bonus cards. We only have the one bonus card, Ethologist. So while playing this game, I did think this said Ecologist. There is another bonus card that says Ecologist, and it is birds in your habitat with the fewest birds. 2 points per bird. So it would have been 4, but we ended up getting 8 here. So this is 2 points per power color. We've got brown, teal, white, pink. 2 points per power color. That's 8 points for bonus cards. From one bonus card, that's decent. End of round goals. We'll look over here at the end of round board. If you can see it, you can kind of see it. This board's a mess. We're gonna tie this first this first end of round goal we had. Birds in the grasslands. So we're gonna split rounding down 4 points, so we get 2 points each. So 2. What color am I? Blue. 4. This is 10. And then we split 7, meaning 3 each. So 13 points from end of round goals. Then we get 1 point per egg. Going back to the board here, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 eggs. Food on cards, we got 1 cash there. So 1 point. Tucked cards. Now, Benelli's Eagle has 3. Butcher Bird has 1. That's 4 points from tucked cards. Spent Nectar. So 5 points for majority. So if you're first in this category, you're going to get 5 points. If you're second place, you're going to get 2 points. I believe it's the same for Automa. That's how we're going to score it anyway. So we have 1 spent nectar in the forest, so we just get 2. And then we have a big stack of spent nectar here. I know I used fish. I did pull out some extra nectar for the following game that we're about to play. So let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spent nectar. We definitely win the end of round goal, or sorry, spent nectar in the grassland. So we're at 5, 6, and 7. And then the wetlands is close, but I think we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'll look at the automas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 spent nectar. So we lost by 1. So we get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points for spent nectar. Now we do Automa score. Actually, let's total this up first. So we're gonna score up. It's gonna be 65. So 70, 83 plus 8 would be 91, 92, 96 plus 9 is our score. Get the old calculator out here. $105. Not my best game. We're going to add up the Automa score. So Automa is going to score 5 points on the hardest difficulty for each face down card that they received. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times 5. Yikes. Does anyone know what 12 times 5 is? It's 60. And then for face up cards, they do only have 2 cards worth 2 points each. So 4. So we do win. In just the birds category, which is always good. We'll discard these cards. We are not going to use any cards that you saw in this first game. We're not going to use for the second game. There's way too many cards. So we'll just put a big discard pile here. We are using Automa's Horde. Always seem to forget to write that in. I'll do that for the next 2 games. And then end of round goals for Automa. So they are red. So they're going to get 2 points from this tie here. 2 points from the tie here. Plus 5 is 7. This would be 10 and 14. So they beat us by 1. That's an even score right now. And then they only have 5 eggs, which is interesting because we only had 5 eggs. Now, this is where it's going to hurt. They're cash tokens. So each cash token on hard difficulty will be where every 3 will convert to a point. So 1, 2, 3 points because they have 9 cash tokens. 3 points from Automa's Horde, and Spent Nectar. If we lost 2 and won 1, then they won 2 and lost 1. So it would be 12 points from Spent Nectar, right? So then we add that up. We're looking at, let's see, 64. From birds. 14 from end of round goals. 5 eggs. 98. So 105 to 98. There are a few categories that Automa does not score, so that's what put us ahead there. Would have been like food on cards, tucked cards is supposed to make up for that cash, and bonus cards, Automa doesn't score from their bonus cards. So us getting that 8 points put us above by 7. Huge. Good game. We are going to do a second game here. So I'm just going to clean this up real quick and set up for a new game. As you can see, the games go relatively quick if you know how to run the Automa. We're going to discard all the bonus cards from that game as well. Draw a new one for Automa, and so on. Get all these cubes back. We are going to do some new end of round goals. Now that I have those mixed up and shuffled, all these cards we saw in Game 1 we're not going to see in Game 2. So that's a bit of a shame. Willie's Wagtail, Multoni's Warbler are gone. Even those cards in the tray we're going to discard. We're going to reset. Brand new game of Wingspan here. Who's ready? I'm ready. We'll reset the feeder. can just get these cards out of here before the stack gets too big. So that is from one game of Wingspan. You can kind of see, you go through the deck a little bit there. This is how many cards we use. I know the cards aren't sleeved, they're dirty, all that stuff. These cards have been through hell and back with me. So, yeah. This is like the one game I didn't sleeve. It's fine. Actually, that's a lie. I don't sleeve most of my games. I only usually sleeve them if they're going to be played with a lot of people outside and stuff, or if it's like a collector's game or items and stuff like that. I did sleeve all my Star Wars Unlimited cards. Star Wars Unlimited, man, we fell behind. I did just pick up a booster pack from the newest expansion for Star Wars Unlimited. I think it's Legions. I don't know. It's a light blue box. Would like to figure out how to do some like opening shorts or whatever they do on YouTube. Like opening those booster boxes would be cool. That would be some fun content. Okay, so we get all of our actions back. So we start with 8 actions. And why am I putting those there? We can give the bonus cards a shuffle. We do have every bonus card in. Although I know some of the Asia bonus cards do replace cards from the base game. Just because of the wording on some of them, I think. So we haven't done that, but odds are it's not going to come into play. How do we randomize these end of round goals? Because I would like to use the backs here. What do we have on the back? Oh, white no powers is one of my favorites. Okay, let's put these back in the pile and then just kind of shuffle them up a little bit, right? Like, look at all these end of round goals, like, from every expansion. It's a lot of end of round goals. Okay, so we should have plenty of nectar for this game. We are going to play hard difficulty again. Got to get these rounds 1, 2, and 3 Automa cards back in and shuffle. We'll keep Automaton Society card in since we won that game. 105 to 98. I know the Automa is not the hardest opponent, but I've found that it is a good way for me to learn mostly all the birds, just what the birds do. We're still learning some of the Asia birds. They are relatively new to me. So let's do, we could roll a die. We could stack these and roll dice. I don't know. Maybe we just do random. We'll randomize it somehow. I don't know the best way to randomize this. Maybe we just roll a dice. Put them in piles of 6. Wait, how do we do this? There's 1, 2. Each one would be 2. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Does that sound right? 4, 8, 12, 16. Okay, so if there's 16, we could do piles of 4. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it in one big pile like this. We're gonna randomize these. We're gonna roll a dice. Okay. So we're gonna go 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's this one. Okay. Round 1 we have birds in the wetlands. Okay, that's gonna be end of round goal number 1 is birds in the wetlands. All right, then what we'll do is put these back on top, flip it to the other side. Okay, and then roll the dice. Okay, we have 6. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Eggs in the forest. And then we'll just mix these up again. Roll the dice. Six again. White and no powers. It's funny we got that one. I do like that one. Okay, shuffle these, mix them a little bit. Flip them. Too many end of round goals. Who agrees? All right, we'll roll dice. 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 3 base game end of round goals and 1 European. Round 4 is going to be box nest birds with at least 1 egg. Fair enough. All right, so there's the end of round goals for the game. Let's put 5 spent nectar up for the Automa in each category. And we can get rolling here. All right, we're going to roll the feeder too. Nice, a lot of nectar in there. Check out this feeder. We got 3 nectar cherry and a nectar wheat, and then fish. All right, 3 birds going out in the tray first. I suppose we should give Automa a bonus card, yeah? Okay. Oh, rodentologist. This is a good one. I usually like this one for myself, but we're going to give it to the Automa here. So they're going to be taking birds from the tray that eat rats. And it is 15% of cards, and they usually are high point predator birds. Okay, 3 birds going out in the tray. We have northern bobwhite, American goldfinch, canvasback. Canvasback is nice. 4 points, 2 food, omnivore. All players draw a card from the deck. Wild nest holds 4 eggs. I like it. So it could be a really good starting wetland bird if we don't get one. Yeah, so what we're going to do is get 2 bonus cards for ourselves. And there it is, Omnivore Expert. Who would have thought? And Pasturine Specialist. Most likely we're going to take Omnivore and draw Canvasback turn 1, just based on what I see so far. Let's pull 5 cards. We have Sacred Kingfisher from the Oceanic Expansion, pink powers. Wedge-tailed Eagle. Sorry, I'm bumping the table and shaking the camera a bit. Wedge-tailed Eagle, Predator. Oriental Bay Owl. That's an interesting looking owl. Yikes, this camera shakes a lot. Okay. Zoom in on the board just a bit. Let's see what else we have. All right, red jungle fowl. I do like that. We did play that recently. Count the eggs on all of your birds if the total is fewer than 6. Lay an egg on this bird. Um, so one more bird card we're gonna draw here. Okay, common goldeneye. So we are looking for. I think I'm going to go with Omnivore Expert, being that canvas back is in the tray. So Omnivore Expert, we're going to get 2 points at the end of the game per bird that eats anything. So we have canvas back in the tray. That is this bird. So if it has that Omnivore symbol, it gives us 2 points. Fair enough. So we'll definitely keep Omnivore Expert. Now what we need is a bird for each habitat. So I'm thinking Sacred Kingfisher is good. Wedge-tail eagle. So that's a 7-point predator. Look at a card from the deck. If its wingspan's over 65, tuck it behind this bird and... Okay, so is that an opposite of butcher bird, basically? Oriental bay owl. That is a predator power and a round end ability to activate the when activated brown powers of all your other birds. So that wouldn't really synergize with Philippine eagle, would it? Then we have red jungle fowl. We're definitely keeping that. So count the eggs on all of your birds if the total's fewer than 6. Lay an egg on this bird. I like that. Common goldeneye. We get a lot of low point birds. We might keep wedge-tail eagle. We know we're getting canvas back, so if we just forget about a wetland bird, maybe we put red jungle fowl in the forest. We keep this. We put this in the wetland or grasslands. We have forest, grasslands, and canvas back. And so we get 3 food then. We'll discard passerine specialists. Is there anything else I'm missing? I do kind of think Sacred Kingfisher could be big this game. If Automa's going to pull a lot of pink power cards, I don't think it's worth keeping a 0-point bird for, I mean, how much food is it going to give us throughout the game, though? That's really the question, isn't it? Let's discard it. We get to keep 3 food on top of the nectar that we start with. So we'll discard those. This is our starting hand. So we have Omnivore Expert as our bonus card. We're looking for birds that eat any food. We have wedge-tailed eagle. That's most likely going to be our grassland bird. And then red jungle fowl will be our forest bird, and we're going to turn 1, draw canvas back from the tray. So we've got a nice little setup here. Now, what 3 food do we want? Probably worm, wheat, rat. So we'll keep exactly that as I'm over here rhyming. All right, because we need 3 rats for wedge-tailed eagle. We need a worm and a wheat for a red jungle fowl, so that's why we kept that. Birds in the wetlands, round 1. Turn 1, we just draw canvas back. All right, taking our first turn here, we're going to draw 1 bird card. We're going to take canvas back. Now, we could spend a nectar here or an egg, but we have no eggs because we have no birds. But we could spend a nectar to draw a second bird card, but we're not going to do that. So we draw canvas back from the tray because it has that omnivore symbol, so that will be 2 extra points at the end of the game. I dig it. All right, we'll refill the tray. Little bustard comes out. When played, draw 1 new bonus card, then gain a card or lay an egg on any bird. All right, So I'm just going to shuffle this again to make sure I did shuffle. And then we'll flip a card for Automa. The Automa. Boom. They're taking food from the bird feeder. And they'll take in this order. So, first rat, there's no rat. There is one fish. So, fish is coming out of the feeder. And then, if we go back to the Automa's turn, they're going to put a cube towards the end of round goals. So they just gained a bird in the wetlands. Now, for round 1, if we take this card, it's going to show us here where it says round 1. Birds in the wetlands. They start with 0, so that 1 cube means they have 1 bird in the wetlands now. Bam. Okay, second action here, I think. What do we do? So we'll probably want that jungle fowl down so that we can take 2 food. We want 2 nectar. And it'll also give us an egg. We're really in no hurry to draw cards right now. Unless an omnivore comes out. And then wedge-tailed eagle, we can work on getting the food for that toward later in the round, I think. So I think I've just talked myself into playing red jungle fowl. So this is going to be our second action of the game. We're going to play a bird. Now, in this first column here, it doesn't cost any eggs to play birds. So this bird, as you can see, it can go in all 3 habitats here. So forest, wetlands, and grassland. So it's your choice. We're going to put it in the forest. Yeah. So then it costs a worm and a wheat. So we'll pay exactly 1 worm, 1 wheat. And that's our action. So we've played a bird. And we've drawn bird cards. We're flipping another card here for Automa to see what they're doing. They're playing birds. So this is where this bonus card comes into play. When you see this play a bird symbol, they're going to take any and all birds from the tray that eat rats. So looking at the tray, we have no birds that eat rats, so we give them a face down card worth 5 points. Okay. And then they will, this is the Audubon Society card we have added for the extra difficulty. So they're going to gain a cube towards the end of round goal, putting them at 2 birds in the wetlands. Really gunning for that end of round goal. Right off jump. So we could play canvas back now. But I can't help but get that nectar out of the bird feeder while it's there. So what we're going to do is gain food. To gain food, we just put our cube in the furthest space to the right of our gain food row. And it shows you what you can do here. So we can spend a food to reset the tray, or bird feeder, sorry, before we take 2 food. It's important that it's before here, and then in this, let's say we had a bird here covering this spot, we would go here, and then we would take 2 food, maybe discard a third card or a card for a third food after we take our 2 food. So these little before and after things are important to think about. But we're going to gain 2 food, and in the feeder we have 2 nectar. So we're going to take 2 nectar from here. And now those dice are outside. So we just give ourselves 2 nectar. And then in Wingspan, it's an engine building game, so you are working your way from right to left. So we gain 2 food, then we activate our jungle fowl. So when activated, count the eggs on all of your birds. If the total is fewer than 6, lay an egg on this bird. So we have none, so we put an egg there. And that's our third action complete. So we'll flip a card for Automa. They are going to lose a action cube, which is good for us. They're back to 1 bird in the wetlands. I'm not sure how they lost a bird, but they're also going to discard the tray. That's what that back of the card symbol means. And they also gain a face down card worth 5 points. Okay, then we can refill the tray and take our next turn. All right, coming out in the tray, we have Eurasian Magpie. Kelp Gull. See a lot of those. And a common blackbird. Actually, we don't see a lot of those. I didn't realize that's an Oceania bird. Looks like a seagull. So Kelp Gull is 6 points, 8 with Omnivore. So we're likely going to take that. The real question is, do we want to take it now? Because we could take Eurasian Magpie as well and just go big on Omnivore this game. Thoughts on that? I have a big hole in my sock. I'm going to put my chair up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so we could draw cards again here. Wait. Okay, the Automa did take 3 turns, so I am up. Just wanted to confirm that. So we could draw bird cards here. We could spend a Nectar and get 2, taking both Eurasian Magpie and Kelp Gull. So they're both omnivore birds. Oh no. Let's see. Or we could play Wedge-tailed Eagle. My fear is that we don't draw those 2 bird cards and the Automa wipes the tray and gets rid of them. And then we just lost a total of like 10 points. The round end ability on Eurasian Magpie is not that great. Choose one other player for each action cube on their grassland. So that means each time they would lay eggs, cash 1 food from the supply on any of your birds. That is good. Because I think when playing against Automa, it would be how many action cubes they have towards the end of round goal. I could be wrong about that, but that's how I'm going to play it because I don't feel like digging through the rule book. I think we're going to chance it if we play canvas back now. Hold on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actions left. Let's chance it because they've already played birds and discard cards once. So let's go ahead and just drop the canvas back. And I really hope they don't discard cards from the tray here. We want that Kelp Gull, at least. We also want Eurasian Magpie. So we're going to spend 2 Nectar here to play canvas back and put that down in the wetlands. Bam, done. So we've played birds twice, we've gained food once, we've drawn bird cards once. Alright, we're going to flip another card for Automa. Yes. This is what I'm talking about, getting lucky here. They're laying 1 egg. We'll just keep the eggs over here for convenience. So now what we're going to do is draw bird cards. Okay, so what we can do is spend a food before we draw 2 bird cards to reset the tray, and then let's say we didn't like any of the birds in the tray, we could spend a Nectar, it would go there, and then we could reset the tray and draw 2 bird cards. We actually like these 2 cards in the tray because they're omnivores, so we're going to take 2 bird cards like that. completes this part of the action, then we go to our canvas back, working right to left, and we'll activate this. So when activated, all players draw a card from the deck. So we're going to draw one card from the deck. We end up getting, this looks like Chestnut Collared Longspur, which is a bonus card bird. And then we will give Automa. We are playing with the Horde here, so when they get a bird card, they get 2 cash tokens. We'll give them 2 cash tokens. Keep those over here. And those are going to add up, and every 3 cash tokens will convert to 1 point at the end of the game. Move my seat down a little bit. We're just going to move it up and down. Okay. Refilling the tray, we've got Noisy Miner and Willet. Willet's good. It's 4 points for 1 food. Predatory power. Noisy Miner, interesting. It is an omnivore. With a tucking ability that holds 6 eggs worth 3 points. Tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, lay up to 2 eggs on this bird. All other players may lay an egg. Whoa, could be big for us. Let's go ahead and flip an Automa card. All right, now they're going to remove... Well, both of them are the same, so they actually reset first. Is the play. And then we remove what they want. So it's going to be rats. So both rats will come out of the feeder. And then we have, activate all pink powers. No pink powers on our board, so we skip that. Goes right back to me. What are we doing? So we don't have the food for wedge-tailed eagle right now. Interestingly enough, we do have food for kelp gull. And it is birds in the wetlands for round 1. So we do want to play more birds in the wetlands. Although I wouldn't mind picking up Willet. Let's see, we have 3 actions left. Can we draw bird cards once? Yeah, no, we can't get both Willet and Kelp Gold down. So what do we do? They're starting with 0 birds in the wetlands. So having 1 action cube puts them at 1 bird in the wetlands, right? Yeah. So if we play Kelp Goal now, because Kelp Goal requires a fish and any food, so we could use a nectar as a fish because that's wild, and then the any food would be a rat. And we do have an egg on red jungle fowl, so we could play Kelp Goal now. But it's just for competing for that first end of round goal, which is really only worth 4 points. I guess it's like a 3-point difference. We've already qualified. I don't know. What do we do? I kind of like Willet for 4 points for 1 food. And there is a good shot that they're going to discard cards here. So maybe we use another turn to pick up cards. I think I am going to do that instead. So let's draw bird cards. Again. We take both Willet and Noisy Miner. Then we activate our canvas back another time, drawing a card from the top of the deck. We get Oriental Magpie Robin. Round end ability: for every 3 eggs in your grasslands, gain a worm or a wheat from the supply. You may cash up to 2 of them on this bird. Tucking fodder. Okay. We're going to give Automa 2 cash tokens for drawing that bird card from our canvas back ability. They're up to 4 now. And then we'll refill the tray. We have Eurasian Hobby, another predator. Oh, Mississippi Kite, another predator. Both of those eat rats. So we would like to leave those in the tray. They're actually 4 points. It is better than them getting a face down for 5. Let's see what they're doing. Playing birds. So both of these will go. They'll keep one face up. We're going to put Automa's cards over here. Slide some of mine down a bit. So we've got space. And Mississippi Kite gets discarded, yeah. No cube here, so they don't gain another bird in the wetlands, which is good. And then we have Red Knot coming out along with Thecla's Lark. Bit of a meme there. I think it has situational ability. Discard a wheat from your supply if you do lay 2 eggs on this bird. That could be good, I guess. Certain situations. Maybe if it held more eggs, it would be better. There was Horned Lark from the base game, too. That wasn't very good. All right, we've got 2 actions left in round 1. One of those actions is going to be playing Kelp Goal, I think. Just to build out that wetlands for the round 1 goal. There's a good shot we win it here. So, it is birds in the wetlands, right? Yep. Okay, so we're going to play a bird. We're going to play Kelp Goal here in the wetlands. So, it costs a fish and then any food. So, we use rat as any food and nectar as the fish. That's our wild. And then we spend an egg from Red Jungle Fowl. All right, 1 action left. Let's flip a card for Automa. They will lose an action cube. That's big. And they'll lay an egg. I'll take it. So with this last action, I don't really know. We don't really want to gain food here unless we're going to gain anything but nectar because at the end of each round, you'll discard any unused nectar. We don't want to draw cards because we've already got too many cards, it looks like. We could take food, just take the food that we actually need for stuff, like chestnut collared longspur. We could get that worm wheat and lay an egg. Seems best. It seems better than laying eggs. So let's do that. We will take worm wheat from bird feeder. So we're taking a worm and then a worm / wheat as a wheat. And then we'll activate the jungle fowl. So this is count the eggs on all of your birds. If the total is fewer than 6, lay an egg on this bird. So we have none. So we put 1 on jungle fowl. And then Automa takes their final action for round 1. Discarding all cards from the tray. Gaining a face down card and gaining a bird in the wetlands, putting them at 1. So we still do win that end of round goal, which is really nice. I'm glad I played Kelp Goal when I did. Now, all we have left to do for upkeep is adjust the spent nectar for the Automa twice. We're going to do this twice at the end of each round. So we'll flip a card like this, and then another one like this. And if there's an X cube, then they lose one. And if there's a regular cube, then they gain one. So they lose one in the wetlands, gain one in the grasslands, and one in the forest. Putting them at 664. And then we remove the round 1 card from Automa's deck. Shuffle Automa's deck. Flip the round tracker to round 2. Put 3 new birds out in the tray. Put a token over there for winning that round goal. Let's go to the round goals. So Automa started with round 1 with no birds in the wetlands, and they have 1 cube, putting them at 1 bird in the wetlands. And we have 2, so we get 2 birds in the wetlands. So we get the 4 points, and they get 1. So a 3-point positive there. Okay, so then we're on round 2 now. We'll put 3 new birds out in the tray. We have Eurasian Tree Creeper. Never played that one. Osprey. And Desert Wheatear. Eurasian Tree Keeper, that is an interesting round end ability. So for every 3 eggs in your forest, gain 1 worm. Oh, I guess it's kind of like Oriental Magpie Robin. Just for the forest. So it says for every 3 eggs in your forest, gain 1 worm or wheat from the supply. You may cash up to 2 of them on this bird. So it's just like Oriental Magpie Robin, except for the forest. Okay, round 2 is eggs in the forest. Let's get our action cubes back. We have 7 now. So 7 actions in round 2. Gotta love Wingspan. I mean, who doesn't love Wingspan? This is my favorite game. I've got Wingspan t-shirts. You can see the nesting box over here on camera a bit. Didn't realize that. We'll keep it. All right, turn 1. Round 2, we could get this magpie down. 3-point bird with Omnivore Expert. We really need action cubes on eggs in the forest, though, if we're going to... Oh, we do want some white no-power birds down as well for round 3. And box nest birds with at least 1 egg. We have a canvasback so far. Oriental Magpie Robin is a box nest, but hopefully we get something better. I do like Osprey. 5 points for 1 fish is really good. We are at a bit of a... We do need cards to feed Noisy Miner, don't we? So we could do stuff like... We could do something like Noisy Miner here. Will it here to get out to like maybe drawing 3 cards and having stuff to tuck when we do lay eggs. If we lay eggs, because we do have this jungle fowl, but at some point that's not going to be good. It's a great starting bird, but eventually you have more than 6 eggs, right? Especially with Noisy Miner down. So each time we tuck a card from our hand behind this bird, we'll lay up to 2 eggs on it and give the Automa an egg. We're looking at eggs in the forest, so let's take food. I kind of like Osprey. If we do Osprey, will it? What are the chances that they're gonna discard cards from the tray here? Did we shuffle that deck? I'm not gonna mess with it. I kind of want that Osprey, but I don't want to draw cards turn one, I guess. We do have food to discard. We could just go back and get some nectar instead of the food that we have. Maybe we discard the wheat. I'm kind of thinking we go Willet, Osprey, Chestnut Collar, Longspur, Noisy Miner, Wedge-tailed Eagle here. That's all of these birds except the Oriental Magpie. We'll probably end up tucking that behind Noisy Miner. So how many cards in total are we going to draw if we draw cards first? 2, 3, 4 cards. That's plenty of tucking for Noisy Miner, in my opinion. I think we should spend our first turn drawing cards. I want that Osprey. We'll put the tucking fodder down here so we know we're not going to play cards like this. We get to draw 2 now, so let's take Osprey and 1 off the top of the deck. Okay, more tucking fodder. We got Australian Zebra Finch. I'm going to stack these so we know we're not playing them. I will read the ability, though. When activated, if the player to your right has a wheat in their personal supply, tuck a card from the deck behind this bird. It is a 1-point wild nest with tucking ability. Okay, so we drew 2 cards. We're going to activate our Kelp Gull. We're going to discard 1 wheat to draw 1 card. White-throated Dipper is good. When activated, discard all remaining face-up cards and refill the tray. If you do, draw 1 of the new face-up cards. Really good bird for starting out. We're probably not going to play it, though. It's kind of late for Dipper. We have a solid wetland engine going right now. Okay, then we will activate our canvas back again, drawing a card from the deck. We get Common Cuckoo. Good pink power. When another player takes the lay eggs action, this bird lays an egg on another bird with a bolt or ground nest now, or enclosure nest. So we do have 3 birds with enclosure nests. We may think of playing that. All right, so that was our first action, round 2. We're going to refill the tray. Silver Eye comes out. When activated, all players gain a nectar from the supply. Let's flip a card for Autumn. They're going to lay 2 eggs. Okay, so we could drop Willet. Honestly, though, putting Osprey down first and activating it gives us food to play Willet. Thoughts on that? I don't think it matters. Let's take nectar while it's good. So there's 1 food left in the feeder. We're going to gain food. We get 1 nectar, then the feeder will reset itself. Don't I wish? This is a bit of a reach here. Okay, and then for our second option, we do get a nectar. So we gain 2 nectar there. And then we activate this red jungle fowl. So count all the eggs on all of your birds. If the total is fewer than 6, lay an egg on this bird. So we only have 1 egg, so another egg goes on jungle fowl, helping the round 2 goal, which is eggs in the forest. That's our second action. All right, let's flip another Automa card. And there they go. Discarding birds from the tray. Goodbye, Silver Eye. Gaining a face down card for 5 points. And an action cube towards the end of round goal. So they just got an egg in the forest. Let's see what they start with. So round 2, eggs in the forest is 3. So that puts them on 4 at the moment. Let's refill the tray. Bioweaver's crazy. Tuck up to 3 cards from your hand behind this bird. If you tuck at least 1 card, lay an egg. White-faced ibis is also big, 8 points. Oh, and Eleonora's falcon is good. Good predatory power. Roll all dice not in the bird feeder. If any are rats, place an egg on this card. What to do? Oh, Bioweaver could be big. If we have Osprey, Willet, Bioweaver, we draw 4 cards, we tuck 3, we keep 1. But it's really just... Oh, Bioweaver can go in the grasslands? That makes it even more interesting, doesn't it? I think we play Noisy Miner. Hi, Daisy. You coming out? There you go. We got dog on the table here. Are you pushing buttons? Yeah, so we could play Bioweaver. I think I'm going to put Noisy Miner down so we get a bird in that grasslands area. Do you want down? Want down? Come here. She's heading for the hills. Alright, I'm just gonna... yeah, we're gonna put Noisy Miner down. We already have too many cards. I was gonna pick up Bioweaver. We will do it if it's still there. Following turn. So, let's go ahead and play Noisy Miner next. Noisy Miner is a omnivore bird. So, this is the one I mean. We are going to play it right here in the grassland, so it doesn't cost an egg, but it does require 1 nectar, 1 of any food, and 1 worm. So that's exactly what we have. We have 2 nectar and a worm. So we're going to spend all that food, no eggs, and it gives us another omnivore bird. So that's 5 points, pretty good. We'll take it. I am keeping an eye on that, that Bioweaver there in the tray. It's really... I did not know that it could go in the grasslands. Being that we have Noisy Miner and Bioweaver, we could be tucking 5 cards. So something like Osprey, Willet, and another cheap wetland bird would be great. We'd be drawing 4 cards, 5, 6, maybe 6 cards, tucking 3, 4, 5. Or 4, and then we lay 2 eggs, right? So yeah, that could be really good. Just give me 1 second here. I'm going to shut this door. I'm actually going to take a quick break. I'm going to get some Gatorade, and I'll be right back to it. All right, we're back. What did I miss? Oh, nothing. Um, I think I played Noisy Miner. Where was I at? It's definitely Automa's turn. So we played a bird. We spent all of our food. No eggs. We're gonna flip a card for Automa. Um, they're gonna remove cherries first, then rats. So there is a rat. We'll take the rat out. And then activate pink power. So if we had this cuckoo down, we would get an extra egg. That could be big. Got some Gatorade and a chewy peanut butter chocolate chip bar. All right, we have 4 actions left here. I was just thinking, eggs in the forest. Maybe we should have played this in the forest. I don't think it's gonna matter. We can lay 2 eggs. Maybe we take food twice. Hear me out. We take food twice. It's 2 of our actions. We have 2 actions left. We have a bunch of food. We would have 4 food and 2 more eggs on red jungle fowl. That puts us at 4. Actually tying Automa for the moment, and then with those final 2 actions, we lay eggs and tuck some of these cards we don't plan on playing. It's just if we take food, what do we take, right? We take 2 fish. That gives us Osprey and Willet. I think this is the move, man. It's just, I really want that Bioweaver. I mean, drawing cards again is going to give us so many cards. Like right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. I don't know. But we will need them if we're going to pick up Bioweaver, right? All right. We're drawing cards. We're going to take both Bioweaver and Whiteface Ibis here. We do want to play those, so let's keep them down, closer down this end as a reminder. So we've drawn 2 cards here. We can discard any number of food to draw that many cards. We're not going to do that. We're going to skip that. Then we'll draw 1 from the deck. Tucking fodder. Gray Wagtail. We don't like that. It's a round end ability. If you use all 4 actions, gain 2 food from the supply. Not as interesting as the Maltoni's Warbler and Willy Wagtail. We got to a turn for Automa here. Laying 2 eggs. It's easy. They'll gain a cube towards the end of round goal, putting them, I think, 5 eggs. Let's see. Eggs in the forest, they start with 3. They have 2. So that's 5. All right, we're going to refill. White-breasted wood swallow and cockatiel. I do like cockatiel. Discard a wheat to choose a card from the tray and tuck it behind this bird. We're doing decent right now. We have 6 points with Omnivore, with Eurasian Magpie. If we are going to play that Eurasian Magpie, though, we should probably play it soon, no? All right, we've picked up Bioweaver like we wanted to. Let's gain food this time. I was kind of hoping the feeder would reset a little bit so we could get some nectar. But it is what it is at this point. I think we just take 2 fish. We go Osprey, Willet. I don't know why I'm ignoring Wedge-tailed Eagle. 7-point bird that we started with, right? I could have played that. Yeah, we're gaining 2 fish here. So we get 2 fish. Let's activate our jungle fowl. So the eggs are still less than 6. So then we lay an egg on jungle fowl. One, two, three, four, five. Let's flip. Okay, so they are going to reset the feeder now. They also gain an action cube, putting them at 6 eggs in the forest. That is what we max out at, unfortunately. So hopefully they lose one from now and then. All right, what are they removing? Starting with cherries. No cherries. Wheat. Wheat nectar would come out first. And we already gave them the cube, yes? Let's do some tucking. We're going to lay 2 eggs. We're going to fill up that forest in case. So 2 eggs in the forest, and then we tuck a card from our hand. Let's tuck Gray Wagtail first. And then we can put 2 eggs on Noisy Miner. All right, so it says tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. We did that. So it says if you do, lay up to 2 eggs on this bird, and all other players may lay an egg. So we put 2 on Noisy Miner, and we give Automa 3 cash tokens. Yikes. They're getting a point every time we activate that. But we're getting 3. So fair enough. I have to finish this granola bar. All right. Well, that was bad. They ended up getting Eleanor's Falcon for 6. And another egg towards the end of round goal, so they have 7. Unbelievable. I think we lay eggs again and tuck Dipper here. So we can only fit one more egg on Jungle Fowl, and it is eggs in the forest. So let's do that. We go one egg there. Let's plop one on Canvas back for round 4 memes. My shirt's falling apart. We'll tuck White-throated Dipper and lay 2 eggs on Noisy Miner. Nothing worse in Wingspan Physical than laying eggs on a card and tucking cards behind it, I will say. The precision it takes to not just whack these eggs across the room. Okay. Automa's losing a cube. That's big. Oh, that ties it. That's huge. They lay 2 eggs and somehow lose 1 in the forest. Explain that, Stonemeyer. So, yeah, let me just make sure that's right because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's right. So then we have round 2. They would have lost a cube, gained 1, so they're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Perfect. They start with 3. They gain 3. That's 6. We tie, which is honestly best we can do. Best we can really hope for. We only have 1 bird in that forest, and 6 is the max egg capacity. I think we did really well there, tying that end of round goal. Who else thinks so? All right, so we put ourselves as a tie. Let's adjust the spent nectar here. We do this twice at the end of each round. They gain 1 in the wetlands, no biggie. We'll remove this round 2 card. Shuffle up this Automa deck. You know what? Really, it's that Automa Society card. Putting that in there really affects gameplay, in my opinion. It makes it much harder. And we're already playing on max difficulty. Consider myself a seasoned Wingspan player. We're going to flip this to round 3. We'll take our action cubes back. We get to keep those fish because they're not nectar. We'll reset this tray. Oh, common Merganser comes out. Omnivore. Prothinotary Warbler for 8. And a Griffin Vulture. We do not care about Griffin Vulture, I promise you. So, Eurasian Magpie still in the hand. It is a 1-point bird, but with Omnivore it becomes a 3-point bird. Paying an egg somewhere makes it 2. Considering tucking it at this point. And it's kind of reliant on... You're kind of relying on the Automa to have cubes on that end of round goal thing for us to be able to cache food from the supply. We might still play it. Let's put it at the bottom of tucking fodder. This is our tucking fodder pile over here. So these are cards that we are not planning on playing. We're going to use them to tuck because we have a couple cards that tuck. Or 1 right now. But when we get BioWeaver down, we're going to be tucking like crazy. So think what the goal here is. We drop Willet Osprey. That's 2 turns. Playing birds. 2 actions gone. We take food twice. Hoping to get down Chestnut Collared Longspur to qualify for round 3. And potentially BioWeaver, but I know it's not possible. Yeah, not with 6 food. Also, common merganser came up in the tray, so that's controversial, isn't it? Because we want that. It's a 7-point bird for us. So we could do, I don't know about will it anymore. I'm wondering if we go Osprey, draw bird cards. Osprey, draw bird cards. Take food, take food. We have to have chestnut collared longspur down by the end of the round unless we get some prothonotary warbler. Oh, that could be good too. There's too many decisions in Wingspan. Is there not? I mean, look at this. The round end goals, if you don't know what I'm talking about, for round 3, it's white, no power birds. And if you look at our board, we have no white, no power birds. But we have prothonotary warbler here in the tray and chestnut collar longspur in the hand. So that's the dilemma. We've only got 6 actions to do it. And I've got such big plans with BioWeaver that it might just not matter. BioWeaver gives us a second cavity nest bird. Prothonotary warbler and common merganser gives us 4 for round 4 goal. We may have to skip out on Willet and Osprey here. So what's that look like? We draw cards once. We grab both of those. We put these in tucking fodder. Let's just do it instead of talking about it. We're going to draw bird cards here. We'll spend an egg from red jungle fowl. Or let's take one from noisy miner. Makes more sense. To get 3 cards. So we'll take both of these as we talked about for the round 4 goal and our omnivore expert. And then we get one more, so let's pop one off the top of the deck. Red leg partridge. No. We don't have time for you. I think we skip this. I think we skip that. And we draw one from the deck. More tucking fodder. And then we give Automa, what do they get for a card? 2 tokens? 2 cash tokens there for our canvas back ability. Let's refill the tray. All right, parrot, crossbill, and yellow-headed blackbird. Nothing crazy. Let's flip. There's that Audubon Society card here to just screw us over. No rodentologist birds in the tray. Griffin Vulture eats no food, so they get a face-down 5-point card. They also gain an action cube towards white no-power birds. I am curious what they start with. Let's take a look at that. So round 3 white no-power birds, they have 1. So with chestnut collar longspur and potentially prothonotary warbler, we could win this. So I think we save. Oh, BioWeaver has just thrown my game off so bad, I'm telling you. It really has. And the bird feeder is not really cooperating, if I'm honest. I mean, for it to cooperate, we have to kind of use it. Let's play a bird. We'll drop common merganser down here. So that costs 2 fish, 1 egg. Just freed up an egg on noisy miner. And that's our turn. We have played a bird. All right, laying 3 eggs. Losing that action cube, that helps a lot. Yeah, I'm telling you, BioWeaver has just thrown this whole game off so bad because I had big plans for it. Its when activated ability is tuck up to 3 cards from your hand behind this bird. Now we have this whole tucking fodder pile of cards over here, but we haven't gotten the card down yet. And then the end of round goals aren't really cooperating either because we have Prothinatory Warbler and Chestnut Collar Longspur we need down before the end of this round to win that end of round goal. So I guess we just have to kind of go for one or the other. Longspur gives us a bonus card. I mean, we can gain food, but we're no longer getting eggs from our jungle fowl. And just the food in the tray is not helping. I think we just take food now and get it out of the way. We take worm wheat. So we get 2 food here. We'll take worm and wheat. And then we have to skip jungle fowl because it's not less than 6 eggs anymore. So that's our third action. We'll flip a card for the Automa here. They're going to wipe the tray and gain an action cube towards the end of round goal. They also gain a 5-point face down card. So we'll give them that. Refill the tray, and then I'm back up. All right, we've only got 3 actions left this turn. Or this round, sorry. So what do we do? We've got to take food again, reroll, hope to get some nectar. That's the way she goes. Since these two are the same, the way the bird feeder works, if they're the same face, you can reroll all 5, or if there's 1 left, you can reroll all 5. So we're going to reroll all 5 since it's 2 fish. In hopes of getting nectar. We do get nectar, so that's good. And then the feeder is automatically rerollable again because 3 are the same face. So that's good news. We get 2 nectar. And then we have to skip jungle fowl again. All right, flipping a card for Automa. They're going to discard 3 cards from the tray. Gain another face down card for 5 points, and that's it. So let's refill. Little Grebe comes out. These are new tray cards. We have American Redstart. Really good bird to start with. When activated, gain a food from the bird feeder. So if that's your first bird in the forest, you're gaining 3 food. That's really good. And then we have Seti's Warbler. So that is a round end ability that this bird counts double toward the end of round goal if it qualifies for the goal. So it has to qualify for the goal to count as 2 birds. So the big question now is chestnut collared longspur or prothinatory warbler. I was thinking prothinatory warbler in the forest would give us 3 food. We can discard this card for an extra food. Chestnut collared longspur gives us a bonus card though, so I think we drop chestnut collared longspur now. So we'll play a bird here out in this second column. You can see the 1 egg cost. And the food cost is here on the bird cards. So a worm and 2 wheat. Let's keep our wheat for BioWeaver and Prothinatory Warbler. BioWeaver is just a meme at this point. I've been wanting that card down for so long. It's not going to happen. Anyway, we'll keep the wheat. So we're going to pay, these nectar are wild. So we're going to pay 2 nectar and a worm. And then did we pay the egg? I don't think we paid the egg. So let's take an egg from Noisy Miner. And now, when played, Chestnut Collar Longspur. When played, draw 2 bonus cards and keep 1. So we're going to look at 2 new bonus cards here and see which one vibes the most with us. All right, so we have Forest Ranger. This is consecutive birds in the forest with ascending or descending scores. So that would be like 5, 3. They want you to go 3, 5, 7, or 3, 5, 7, however you do it, but in the forest. So that's obviously not going to be the one. We have 1 bird in the forest, so we don't like forest data analyst or whatever it is, or forest ranger. So anatomist is birds with body parts in their name. We have collared. We have back. That's 2, so we're already hitting the 3 points for that. So we keep that bonus card, we discard the other. And we're down to 1 action, sadly. Let's flip an Automa card. They're going to discard all 3 cards from the tray. Gain another face down card for 5 points. They seem to do that a lot. And they lose an action cube towards the end of round goal, which is really helpful for us. Because that puts us at a tie for the end of round goal. Now, if we can get, which we can't, I don't know why I'm even saying it, but I was hoping to get Prothinotary Warbler down also for white no power birds in round 3. White and no power birds is the goal. And Prothinotary Warbler is a white no power bird. Chestnut Collared Longspur is a white no power bird. We have to do some egg laying. I was hoping, I don't know. This game got so thrown off from BioWeaver. That tug up to 3 cards from your hand behind this bird. If you tug at least 1, lay an egg on this bird. I just see a 4-point engine when I read that. And it just threw off my game. All right. Anyway, we're laying eggs with our last action in round 3. Let's try to get eggs on our box nests or cavity nests, whatever this is called, this nest type. For the round 4 goal, so it's cavity nest birds with at least 1 egg. So we'll put an egg there. We have 1 on canvas back, so that counts. Let's just put 1 on Chestnut Collared Longspur. All right, this is a when played ability, so we skip over this. And then we activate our Noisy Miner, tucking a card. So let's just tuck any of these. We have a lot of cards that we can tuck. And when we do tuck, we lay 2 eggs on Noisy Miner, and we give Automa 2 cash tokens. 3 cash tokens. Yikes. So they're getting a point each time we activate that Noisy Miner. Because we are playing on max difficulty. And those cash tokens do add up. All right, that concludes round 3 for us. So we flip 1 more Automa card, and we adjust their spent nectar. So they're going to lay 2 eggs and gain an action cube towards the end of round goal. So they now put themselves at, let's see, white no power birds round 3. They start with 1. They have 1 action cube, so they win because they got 2 action cubes. Or an action cube, and they started with 1. Sorry. And they also lay 2 eggs. So we lose the end of round goal, which is fine, but we're going to adjust the spent nectar. Now, we do this twice at the end of each round. So we'll go 1, 2, and then if you see a cube, you add a nectar. If you see a cube, you add a nectar. If you see a cube with an X through it, they lose a nectar. So they'll gain a nectar in the wetlands and the grasslands. So we'll put 1 there and 1 there. And then we are done. We can remove the round 3 card and flip the round tracker over to round 4 and shuffle the Automa deck. So this remove after round 3 card will come out. And we'll shuffle the deck. Get our action cubes back, so we're down to 5 now because each time we give one to the end of round goals. So we did end up losing that end of round goal, but we had one white no power bird, so we qualified for 3 points, which is decent. Last thing we need to do for upkeep is reset this tray and put 3 new birds out. So let's see what comes out. We have a 0-point ruddy duck. Really a good starting bird. When activated, draw 2 cards. If you do, discard 1 from your hand at the end of your turn. Alright, then we have Northern Gannet, 5-point predator. And the Indigo Bunting, an interesting bird. Gives you food in the grasslands. Gain a worm or a cherry from the bird feeder if available. Alright, we've only got 5 actions left. BioWeaver was a total meme in this game. Screwed me over. I don't think we're going to get it down. What do? We gain food. We can gain food, play it, and then we have 3 actions to use it. Actually, that makes more sense than probably playing. I don't even know at this point. This was a weird game, I'm not going to lie. Let's just go for that anyway, because BioWeaver. Why not? So the question, if we're gaining food and all 3 faces of the die are the same, do we reroll for nectar here? What are the chances we're not going to get 2 worms or a worm wheat? Because we could just take what we need. We have no spent nectar in the forest right now. And I don't think we're going to have any spent nectar in the forest. I'd like to get Prothinotary Warbler down. I mean, BioWeaver is a box nest bird. That puts us on 3. Prothinotary Warbler gives us 4. And for the round 4 goal, Automa would start with 3 box nest birds with at least 1 egg. So we'd have to get both down to win. Yikes. Let's just re-roll. We're already gambling here. No way, dude. No way. At this point, we just take 2 rats and play Wedge-tailed Eagle. What the hell? What are the chances? We could have just taken what we needed. Oh my god, that's so unlucky. Not a single nectar. Oh. This game just gets worse and worse. We did much better when we played fast. Like, did it like a 30-minute game earlier and just killed it. Yeah, I don't know. We take worm. Or do we take wheat? We take wheat, rat. We take wheat, rat. God, that's so unlucky, dude. I can't believe it. We could have just taken the food we needed, but we got greedy. We wanted a spent nectar in the forest, which we weren't even going to play a bird in the forest, so I don't see how that's worth it. Big mistakes here were made. Automa's playing a bird, so they're looking for rodentologist birds. There's none. So they get a face-down card for 5. And this Audubon Society card has come up every time, and it hurts. They also get a cube on the end of round goal. God, I hope they lose that. We have to take food again, and it's not even the food we need. We could just get 2 rats, play Wedge-tailed Eagle, lay eggs the rest of the game. That actually seems better than whatever I'm thinking, because I wanted so bad to play BioWeaver, because we have all these cards we can tuck, and we can tuck 3 behind the BioWeaver, and if we activate it 3 times, we're getting 3, 6, 9, 12 points. So maybe it is just BioWeaver here. We just have to force it down because we didn't get any nectar. What we can do is take food, and we'll take one food. So we'll take a fish, making the feeder rerollable, okay? So now we've got a fish, rat, and 2 wheat. So we still have one food to choose. We're going to reroll for that choice to give us a nectar. Please, God. Thank you. We get a nectar. Then we skip our jungle fowl because we have more than 6 eggs. We flip for Automa. They discard the tray. We don't care about the tray anymore. It's only 3 turns left. They gain a face down card for 5 points as I'm knocking the tray over. They also get a cube on the end of round goal, which hurts. But it is what it is. All right, let's put BioWeaver down so we can start using it. Goes in the grassland, costs an egg. First off, we'll take an egg off Noisy Miner. It costs a worm and 2 wheat, so we'll do nectar and 2 wheat. So the spent nectar will go here, leaving us with fish rat. That's our third action. We've played a bird. Let's flip. Automa is going to lay 3 eggs and lose an action cube. Very good. We've got to refill the tray, though. Sri Lanka Blue Magpie, Asia Bird. Round end ability, may cache 1 food from your supply on each of your other birds. Interesting. All the different power colors coming up. We've got American Avocet, a pink power. Once between turns, when another player takes the lay eggs action, lay an egg on another bird with an enclosure nest. And Rose Ring Parakeet, so when played, copy a when played white ability on one of your neighbor's birds. So playing solo against the Automa, you would copy from the tray. All right, we'll give Automa the 3 eggs there. We took the action cube off, and now it's finally time to use the famous BioWeaver. So what we're going to do is lay eggs. Now I'm going to count my cards here because we're going to tuck 3 cards behind BioWeaver twice. So we definitely have extra cards here to discard 4 eggs. So we may run out of egg space, but let's first discard these 2 cards. Because you can see here it says lay 2 eggs and then discard a card or a food for a third, discard a card for or a food for a fourth. So we're going to use 2 of our cards to turn into eggs. So what we're laying here is 4 eggs, and each egg is 1 point at the end of the game. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not going to put one on BioWeaver because we're about to get one there. So that's our 4 eggs. Now we'll activate BioWeaver. It says tuck up to 3 cards from your hand behind this bird. If you tuck at least 1, lay an egg. So that counts for the end of round goal. We'll put 3 tucks, lay an egg. And then we'll activate Noisy Miner. Noisy Miner says tuck 1 card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, lay 2 eggs on this bird. So we get a tuck and 2 eggs. Now we give Automa 3 cash tokens because they also get to lay an egg. Their cash token pile is getting huge. Every 3 will be a point at the end of the game when playing with Automa's Horde. So let's flip. We only have 1 action left after this, so they're going to wipe the tray here. And lose an action cube is big. That helps us. It puts them back to base value, which for round 4, they start with 3. And we're actually at 3, so we could tie here if they don't get a cube. So Automa is wiping the tray, gaining a face down card for 5. We're refilling the tray. European Roller comes out, garbage. Northern Flicker is interesting. Common Starling could have been good early on. Okay. So we have just enough cards. We played this perfectly with BioWeaver, I think. We're going to do 1 more action. Now, we have 2 food this time to discard. So we are going to get 4 eggs again. And we've got just enough egg space too, it looks like. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and that's full. 4. And then we'll tuck up to 3 cards from our hand. So we have these 3 to go behind. And it says if you tuck at least 1, you gain an egg on this bird. So we'll lay an egg. Now, BioWeaver can only hold 3, so we're fine there. And then we tuck 1 more card. So we do have 1 card left. It was perfect use of resources there. We tuck a card behind Noisy Miner. We lay up to 2 eggs on it. It can hold 6, so we're getting exactly 6, which is awesome. And then we give Automa another 3 cash tokens, so I'm out of cherries. I'll give him a cherry and 2 wheat as cash. Whatever. And that was our final action. So we did all right. Obviously, this isn't the best board compared to last game. We played, 12 birds, I think. So a lot less birds here, but more eggs, more tucks. We're going to see how it pans out. We'll flip 1 more card for Automa. They're going to lay 3 and get an action cube, so we don't tie. We lose by 1 because we have 1, 2, 3 box nest birds. And they start with 3, and a cube puts them at 4, so they win the end of round goal, unfortunately. And we lose it. Okay. Then we need to adjust the spent nectar down here for Automa 1 last time. So they will lose 1 in the forest there because of the X through the cube. Oh, losing 1 in each habitat is actually good for us. Very nice. And then, what else am I missing? I think that's it. So that's the end of the game. Now we just tally it up. I don't think I missed anything, right? Nope. We adjusted the spent nectar and all that. That's the end of round 4. So we're going to score this up. The first thing we score is points on the birds. So looking at our board, we have, this is 15 down here. So 5, 6, and 4. We have 15 points. This would be 26 plus 2 is 28. So really low on bird points. We ended up getting 65 last game. So that's really low. Our bonus cards, we ended up doing all right. These are the 2 bonus cards we had. Omnivore Expert. So a bird that eats anything, meaning it has this symbol in its food cost, is going to get 2 points per bird. So we did all right here. We have Common Merganser, Kelp Gull, Canvasback, Noisy Miner. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And then our other bonus card was Anatomist. So birds with body parts in their names. If you can read that, it's probably hard. Okay, there we go. Some focus. Anything like back, beak, belly, bill, breast, brow. Let's look at, sorry for the shaking. We have chestnut collared long spur is going to count. We have canvas back is going to count. So that's 2 birds. We meet that minimum requirement. So it's 2 to 3 birds for 3 points. So we end up getting 8, 9, 10, 11 points from our bonus cards. Then we score our end of round goals next. So we'll go over to the board. What color am I? I'm blue. So we get 4 points for winning that first end of round goal. We split this, so we get 2 each rounded down. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13 points from end of round goals. Not too good. The next thing we score is our eggs. So each egg's going to be 1 point. We have 6 here. We have, oh, I'm throwing them. We have 6 here, so this is 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 25. 25 eggs is actually decent. Makes up for some of the slack from the bird points. Now, the next thing we score is food on cards. We have no food on our cards. So that would be cached food, like, for example, on Common Merganser. It says roll all the dice not in the bird feeder. If any are fish, cash a fish. So we didn't get any cached food here. So we just get 0. And then the next thing we score is our tucked cards. So each card that's tucked behind a bird is going to be worth 1 point. So we do have some tucks here to add up. Noisy Miner, Bioweaver at the end there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points. And last but not least, we score the nectar. Now we did kind of mess up here, and we spent 0 nectar in the forest. So I'm not really sure how that works. I think they get 5 and we get 0. And then for the grasslands, what we're looking at here is my spent nectar compared to what the Automa ended up with on their spent nectar board. So we know we lost the forest, so we get 0 for forest, and then we count this as 5, 6, and we have, looks like 5. Yeah, so we lose that one too, but we do qualify getting 2 points, which is decent, because it's 5 points for majority and 2 points for second place, I guess. So we just get 4 points for spent nectar, which is pretty bad. I think we lose here. We could adjust the difficulty. We didn't choose the difficulty for this game, but we're not going to do that. I said we were playing on hard, so we're going to play on hard. We count up those points. I'm going to use my calculator real quick. So let's see. We have 28 points from birds plus 11 and 13 is 24. So plus 24 plus 25 plus 15. 92. So that's a rough score. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not the best. We're probably still going to lose. We'll score up Automas. So for each face down card, they're going to be worth 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 55 points from face down cards. Face up cards, they get their face value. So this is 10. So they're already at 65. End of round goals, they kind of stomped us here. So red gets 1, splits this, getting 2. So that would be 3 plus 6 is 9. Plus 7 is 16. Then their eggs. They do have eggs over here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 eggs. And then we score Automa's Horde. So each one of these, every 3 cash tokens will be a point. So we have 3 here. That's a point. So that's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points from Horde tokens. Now, we gave them all 6 of those points. Something to think about. And then Spent Nectar, they killed it. They get 15. So we definitely lost this game. We're looking at 65. 65 points from birds. So 65 plus 32. Plus another 21. 118. So we do lose 92 to 118. So that's rough. That was not a good game. The game that I played before, earlier on today, was much better. But that's going to be a wrap for today. We'll probably play again tomorrow. I do like this format. I will say I have been playing the Asia expansion with the duet mode solo against the Automa, and I kind of like going back to this old format with the normal end-of-round goals. You can really mix it up. I still like using the Nectar. Who doesn't like using the Nectar? If we're honest, it's wild. Just makes playing birds easier. But that's going to be it for today. So thanks everyone for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.